Hi, we're at the Ash Creek News. This is Vicki Trill. Gareth is away today. It is Tuesday, August 25th. Hi, everyone. We've got quite a few interesting things in the news here for you today. Of course, we're going to start off with the COVID numbers, as we usually do. Seems like that's the world we're living in now. Then we're going to talk a little bit about healthcare workers' stigmatization. You may be hearing a bit of buzz about that. We'll explore that a little bit further. And in the world, we're going to talk more about some COVID interesting things. Talk a little bit about the wildfire situation. And locally, we're going to talk about the Cardboarddonian raid. So let's start off with the numbers. You'll see the numbers on your screen there. We now in BC have a total of 5,184 cases of COVID-19. 18 are currently hospitalized, 5 of those in ICU. 203, unfortunately, have passed away, and 4,068 have recovered. I wanted to dig down a little bit deeper into the data. So looking at the distribution by age, so who is testing positive for COVID-19, as you'll see on your screen there, that sort of middle-age group and a little bit younger are the ones who are testing positive for COVID-19 the most. So that's an interesting piece of the data, because at least I thought originally it was more of those that were over 60. But in actual fact, it is not. Now, of course, I don't have the data up on the screen for you regarding those who are hospitalized. This is just those who are being tested positive. And then we have another screen here to show you the percentage of tested samples that are positive. So as you may know, we are testing more now than we did before. At the beginning of the pandemic, our provincial health officer had reiterated a number of times that it was those who were immune compromised and those who they were most concerned about having COVID-19 who were being tested. However, now it's a broader population who is being tested. And so you'll see there those that are the percentage of those being tested are how they're coming, whether they're positive or not. So if you look March, April, May, those that were being tested, it was a higher percentage of positive results, whereas now until the end of August, we're showing a lower percentage of positive results. And again, that's due to the selection of those being tested. And we'll move now on to provincial news. Healthcare workers' stigmatization. A study out of the University of BC in their Journal of Anxiety Disorders shows that 1 in 3 people are avoiding healthcare workers due to the pandemic. This was a bit surprising to me at first, although when I thought about it, maybe not so surprising. I mean, maybe you've done it too, but at 7 o'clock, we get out there with pots and pans or with our bells or with our cheering voices, and we let the healthcare workers know that we're supporting them, that we're very thankful about the good work that they're doing on the front lines. Although now the study out of UBC is telling us that 1 in 3 people are maybe cheering, but they're also avoiding those same healthcare workers that they admire for the work that they do. The research indicated that healthcare workers' stigmatization is widespread and is an under-recognized problem. Adults were surveyed in both the US and Canada, and over 1/4 said that healthcare workers should have severe restrictions placed on their freedoms, such as being kept in isolation from their communities and their families. People who stigmatize healthcare workers also tended to avoid other people, avoid drugstores and supermarkets, and they avoided leaving their homes. The UBC factor analysis suggests that healthcare workers' stigmatization is linked to COVID stress syndrome. Jessica, have you heard of the COVID stress syndrome?
I haven't, no, but I can imagine that there's an extreme group of people that are just freaked out and completely everything is scary to them, and so they are staying completely in a very small bubble.
Yeah, and the surprising thing to me is 1 in 4 are saying that they would like healthcare workers to stay home and away from, basically they want them to be completely self-isolated.
Yeah. Yeah, it's my sister's a nurse, and so she works in hospital. And what they've been doing in the hospitals is they actually have 2 hospitals within every hospital now. They have a COVID positive hospital and a COVID negative, like a non-COVID part of the hospital. And so only half of the healthcare workers are working anywhere within the COVID. Like if you test positive, you go over there and you are in a sterile environment. Whereas if you're not working, you're in the regular part of the hospital. And so it's unfair to half the healthcare workers because they're not actually dealing with COVID patients.
Yeah, and Global News reported last night that actually it's safer for you to go into a hospital than in the grocery store. Really.
Absolutely. The level of care being taken to make sure that things don't spread are probably way higher in a hospital than out in the public.
And it's interesting, I think we can watch more for this research that's coming out about COVID stress syndrome, some interesting thoughts there. Also wanted you all to be aware that Statistics Canada is currently collecting data regarding the impacts of COVID-19 pandemic, and their current topic that they're collecting data for is in experiences of discrimination. And so this healthcare worker stigmatization would be one of those. Also, we've been hearing reports of people of business, whether it be the Walmart worker or anybody who's just sort of saying, hey, would you please sanitize, or do you have a mask to wear, are being treated in quite a horrible way. And we've been hearing these stories more and more. And so if you have had experiences of discrimination, please go to the Stats Canada website and you can give them your feedback about your experiences there.
Have you been to Aberdeen Mall?
I have.
Yeah, it was interesting. I went a couple of weekends ago, and you know, there's markers on the floor, and every store has a person manning the door with sanitizer and just asking you politely to sanitize, and it just becomes part of the routine. So my hands were cleaner, I think, than they've ever been that day because I sanitized 8 times, kind of thing, within an hour. Right?
Exactly. Yeah, and one thing I do notice when we go to places of business, and especially when you compare rural versus cities, but even in Aberdeen Mall, that's a good example. You'll go into one store and masks may be mandatory. Hand sanitization, I think, is mandatory in all of them. But some ask you to do it before you enter. Others just have it there for you to use or not. And there is a variety of protocols that are in place. And I think sometimes that can be tricky for people in wondering, well, which one is right, which one is wrong. I think the point is that everybody chooses what's right in their particular situation. But that is sometimes a bit hard to navigate, for sure.
Yeah.
We'll move on now to world news. Politicians and leaders have been recruiting the help of celebrities to get the word out about being safe during the pandemic. Messages about flattening the curve, staying home, keeping your distance, and even personal hygiene can be heard from the likes of Justin Bieber, Celine Dion, Michael Bublé, Shawn Mendes, and Ryan Reynolds. And here we'll hear a little bit about what Ryan Reynolds has said.
Well, thank you, Prime Minister Trudeau. We need to work together to flatten the curve and fight off COVID-19. I think in times of crisis, I think we all know that it's the celebrities that we count on most. They're the ones who are going to get us through this. Right after healthcare workers, of course, first responders, people who work in essential services, ping pong players, mannequins, they're great. Childhood imaginary friends, sure, like 400 other types of people. Look, stay at home, practice social distancing, wash your hands. We are going to get through this thing. We're going to get through this thing together. And I'd like to nominate these 3 great Canadians to spread the word. Mr. Stephen Page, Constable Terry Reynolds of the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, and Mr. Seth Rogen of the Point Grey Rogans.
Although it seems not everyone is heeding this message, Police and other provincial enforcement officers have recently been given the ability to issue $2,000 violation tickets for owners or organizers contravening the provincial health officer's order on gatherings and events. They are also able to issue $200 fine or violation tickets to individuals not following the direction of police or enforcement staff at events, or who refuse to comply with requests to follow the provincial health officer orders, or don't comply with safe operating procedures, or respond with abusive behavior, as we were just talking about now. So it's interesting, I have heard in provincial news that there have been violation tickets already issued, both to organizers of events that are contravening the provincial health officer's orders. I've also heard about individual tickets going out, and I believe after the Canucks won the first round, there were some tickets that were issued after people were asked to disperse from large groups, and they did not. Moving on then to regional news, we want to talk a little bit about the wildfire. I thought it was interesting, maybe you all knew, but I didn't know all about the fire zones and the different zones we have in British Columbia. So you'll see on your screen a map about our zones. We've got 6 zones there, and we are in the Kamloops zone. So we're located in the Kamloops Fire Center region, where there are currently 15 fires burning, the most notable of which is the Christie Mountain Fire, where there are still evacuations in place. However, progress has been made on the fire that was first noted just over a week ago on August 18th. We also have another map showing you the zones within the Kamloops Fire Center. And just to be reminded that in the Kamloops Fire Center zones, and you'll see that there are the various zones, within that zone there are, I gotta find my spot on my paper. There's a Category 2 and Category 3 open fire prohibition in effect for the Kamloops Fire Center. This prohibition does not prohibit campfires that are 1/2 meter high by 1/2 meter wide. So when you go to the lake this weekend and you wanna have a little wiener roast or make your s'mores, you should still be okay with your small fire, and it's always a good idea to keep it within those little burning things. I know they have that out at Crown Lake, and also they have it up at Barnes Lake. That does not apply to that. However, it does apply to Category 2 open fires, Category 3 open fires, things like fireworks, sky lanterns, burning barrels, and others of the like. You can check it out on the wildfire page for more information. You should also check with your local authorities if you have any questions about what burning restrictions are in effect. Anyone found, though, to be breaking any of these rules can be fined quite a bit, especially if it turns into a wildfire, talking about, well, basically everything you have and a little bit more, including jail time is also a possibility. And really, more importantly, is just that we want to take care of our environment around us and all of the people that live in it. So if you do see a wildfire or think that you see smoke and that there may be one, you can call star 5555 on your cell phone, or 1-800-663 and 4 5s after that. Moving on to national news, the Conservatives have elected a new party leader. Aaron O'Toole has replaced Andrew Scheer as the new federal Conservative leader. After an exceptionally long delay in tallying the ballots due to a machine malfunction, the ballot counts went to the 3rd round, where it came down to O'Toole and McKay. With the exceptions of New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, and PEI, O'Toole led every province in points for a total of 19,272 over McKay, who had 14,528. Now O'Toole will hit the ground running as he not only steps into leadership during a pandemic, but also when the official opposition is calling for a criminal investigation of the Prime Minister regarding the $900 million scandal and a prorogued Parliament. Our local Minister of Parliament, Brad Viss, says the Liberal government has until September 23rd, when they must present their plan for Canadians through the throne speech. If the Liberal government does not gain enough support from opposition parties for their new plan, an election could be triggered by a vote of non-confidence. So what do you think, Jessica? Are we going to have a federal election in the fall?
I think it's going to be interesting for sure. I know that there's a lot. Most of the parties are not really impressed with what's going on with the Prime Minister right now. So it'll be interesting in September what happens.
And then add the pandemic with all of the protocols that are
Oh
in
my
place.
gosh.
It could be an
We're gonna
election
have to
like
have-
no other.
We're going to have 3 days of voting instead of just one.
That's right. Yeah, and looking at how they're doing it in the United States might give us a little idea of how it might look like. Hopefully not quite as cumbersome.
Mm-hmm.
We'll find out.
Mm-hmm.
And in local, oh yes.
Just before I start local news, RJ Martin says, "Hi, Auntie Vicky."
Oh, RJ Martin says hi. Hey, how's it going, Randy? All the way over there in Edmonton, or are you in Calgary? You can type in there. Thanks for watching, Randy. I hope my hair looks good because Mary Grace told me that I needed to work on it, otherwise I would look bald. Uh-oh, now we're gonna have comments about my hair you'll have to read. All right, well, let's go to local news because it was pretty exciting this last weekend. I had a really great weekend. I'm still excited about it. Maybe I shouldn't give away all of the information, but for over a month, the Cardboarddonians have threatened to take over the villages of Ashcroft and Cache Creek. And they promised a raid on Saturday, August 22nd. That was just this last Saturday. Thanks to a plea from Mayor Roden, support from our local RCMP, and more than 40 kids, the villages are now safe. If you missed all of the excitement, watch the Hub Online Network's Facebook or YouTube page for video footage of that fun event. According to data collected since the start of the pandemic, children and youth are reporting reduced levels of mental health and wellness. This information, combined with the fact that so many fun events had to be canceled, caught the attention of staff at the Ashcroft Hub, and they came up with ways to add some fun back into summer. I know certainly we had some chats about it here at the Hub. I think it started off with our grads. We were really feeling horrible for our grads, and we have one of them here in the room with us, that they work up to this graduation ceremony, and then all of a sudden all of the hype is just kind of deflated.
Mm-hmm.
And we were able to do what we could for them, but it certainly wasn't like it usually is. And we thought, how do we bring some of the fun back into summer and into these days when so much has been canceled?
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully we're doing a little bit of that over here at the Hub. So the Cardboarddonian Raid was one of the summer activities organized by the Hub this summer. Others included virtual science, and virtual crafts and culinary arts. We've had drive-in movies. We have another one this week on Thursday up at the Ashcroft Travel Center. Jessica will be talking more about that in a minute. We've had art therapy with Joe Petty. We've got a tie-dyeing competition going on and other events as well. And to try to make sure that all of these events are accessible for everyone, they're highly subsidized thanks to grants from Canada Summer Jobs, Aboriginal Skills and Employment Strategy, the Province of BC, BC Gaming, and United Way. We're so thankful for all of that support so that we can provide these to our community and not make it difficult for anybody to attend. Mm-hmm. But keep watching our Facebook page, ashcrofthub.ca, and our Facebook page to find out what is coming up next. And Jessica is going to take you into that, what's coming up this weekend, and even in the farther future.
Happening at the Hub or from the Hub. So you did mention the drive-in movie Thursday night. We're watching The Little Prince, the animated one from 2016. The movie starts at 8:30 and at the parking lot next to Tim Hortons. The gates are open at 8. Cost is $10 per car, and there is a concession available. Be sure to register either through the office or through our website, ashcrofthub.ca. The kids virtual camp, this is the last camp this week. Vivian and I will be in the kitchen cooking some yummy, delicious things up. We are making pizza and s'mores. You can still register. It's $5 per kid and all of the supplies are included. Head to ashcrofthub.ca to find out where to register for that. There was supposed to be a first aid course this weekend, and unfortunately it had to be postponed. So stay up to date, ashcrofthub.ca or Facebook page for the new date for that. And then something else indirectly with the hub is the Terry Fox Run. You guys are kind of the organizer for Ashcroft this year. It's all happening virtually this year, and the theme is One Day Your Way. So run, walk, or bike however much you can on September 20th and help raise funds to support the fight against cancer. They also are doing the Try It Like Terry kind of challenge this year. So challenge yourself to try something new and post your try on social media with the hashtag Try Like Terry. Did you come up with a try, Vicky?
I have come up with a try.
Oh,
I haven't done it
do
yet.
you want to say it?
I'm kind of nervous about it because I will definitely scream. It will be something to see for sure.
And we will record every minute of it.
So I'm going to create, or somebody, because I'm not supposed to know, I don't think. I'm going to create a bit of a maze, a walking maze with mouse traps around the path. And then I'll be blindfolded with no shoes on, so barefoot. And then I have to try to get through the maze without getting my toes snapped with the mouse traps. So
I'm
that's
not sure
my
how you
hashtag Try Like
think that
Terry.
is at all fun.
Well,
But-
and you know what?
all
I feel
right.
actually a little bit disrespectful calling it Try Like Terry. I mean, really, Terry ran across the country with one leg, and of course, as we know, he ended up, finding out that he had more cancer in his body, and certainly the little mousetrap thing isn't like Terry, but that's the hashtag that they gave us, and I thought I'd use it. I love the cause, though, and I think it's a big year, right? It's
40.
yeah,
40th.
40 years. And actually, fun little fact, my husband's uncle went to school with Terry Fox.
Oh, yeah.
Of course, now we also know that we have that school down there is named after him, Terry Fox Secondary School.
Have you seen the Monument Memorial in Ontario? Where
No, I haven't.
Yeah, so every time we go to Ontario, or drive anyway, we've stopped at the big memorial place where, I think that's where he finished. He didn't get past that.
I wonder if he had any idea, I feel like he was maybe the first I ever realized, but he was like the first guy to sort of come up with the idea, I'm going to go on some sort of long distance,
Yeah.
run or race or whatever. I mean, we've heard about it subsequently and people have raised money, but Terry Fox was like a groundbreaker there and a ground shaker. And I wonder if he had any idea that still 40 years later, this event would be going on and raising funds for a cause that was so close to him.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing.
It
It's
is
amazing the work
amazing.
that Terry Fox Foundation has continued to do. So please join in. We have more comments on the chat.
Gareth Smart says, you're doing an excellent job.
Thank you. Whew.
Don't tell me the comments about her hair.
Yeah. Oh, great.
Does
There's
that
the
mean that
filtering.
he's just going to stay on vacation permanently? You're
Yeah.
like, all right, Vicky can take over. It's all
Don't
good.
make me do this much longer, Gareth. Gareth is away, and this is the second time I filled in for him. I feel like it's not necessarily getting better. Hair was definitely better in the first one, but they're filtering out those comments so that
You just need to hire a new stylist, Vicky. It's fine.
yeah, that's right. Tomboy, I'm pretty sure was one of the words they used for me. Hair up has always been my way to do things.
Yeah, so the hub still has a couple of other things going on too. This one is specifically for teens, sort of. It's 10 to 25-year-olds anyway. Get creative with natural tie-dye and enter the tie-dye contest. The tie-dye material must be a white shirt, and there are some here at the hub that you can have as while supplies last. The shirts must be dyed using homemade natural dyes. We have to have the submission sent to us via email or Facebook by August 31st. And then there's 2 prizes to be won. For 10 to 15-year-olds, there's a portable Bluetooth speaker. And for the 16 to 25-year-olds, there is a wireless projector,
I want both of those
which
prizes.
is cool. Well, you
It's
are
like a party
not,
waiting to happen.
both of us are older than 25.
Oh my goodness, I know.
So-
My daughter said you should join. I said, Mary Grace, I'm not in that category. Oh,
Yeah.
right. I was glad she forgot. Pretty soon she won't forget.
Oh, well, I'm glad she thinks that you're still 25.
For a second. For
just
half
a second there.
Yeah.
And there is Matthias and Vivian did make a video about it, which you can check out on our YouTube page, because I don't think we don't need to watch it now. So it's really cool. They used beets, boiled beets, and they used turmeric, I think, and
Onion
what else?
skins?
Onion skins. So yeah, it was really, really cool. So it'll be interesting to see the creativeness of the teenagers and the young adults
Yeah, I don't know
in
why I
that.
hadn't thought of it earlier, but some years ago when I was refinishing furniture, I had a mahogany piece that I was refinishing. So I stripped off all the paint, and then there was some areas where a mug had been placed and had caused, some discoloration, lightening. So I thought, I wonder if I can use cherry juice. So I took some of my canned cherries, I just kind of dripped all of the juice onto there, let it soak in for a bit, and then wiped it off. Can't see the marks at all.
Oh yeah, it's really cool the different colors that are available in nature, and some that, like, I know there's some flowers that are like yellow, but when you use them as dye, they're blue. And so it'll be interesting to see what people use and kind of what colors come out of that. Like purple cabbage turns much bluer than purple. So
Fun. I can't wait to see your creations. Let's get them in because you definitely want to win those prizes.
Maybe we can just each do like 4 and like cut it up and pretend that we're 4 different people, because then we'll be in the right age group.
Right, there we go. Yeah, quarter it. That probably fits with the rules.
So something else that's available for fun and as a contest for kids, this one's for ages 5 to 17, is the water conservation poster contest from the Village of Ashcroft. It's been extended until September 30th. So create a 8.5 by 11 poster that's got a conservation tip or a fun fact, and that's kind of all about water. We live in the desert. We should be conserving water as much as we can, and prizes are a gift card that can be used at any businesses, and that's going to be to the top 3 posters. So there's 3 prizes that can be won for that.
Lots of fun.
Yeah, so you can submit your high-resolution photo or a scan of your photo to intern@ashcroftbc.ca or on their Facebook page, because they are on Facebook now, which is pretty exciting. And then something else that's starting in September, Crush Dance is back. Is Mary Grace doing dance this year?
Yes, she is.
She's excited. So you can register at crushdance.com, crush with a K. Kelly has dance classes for kids from 2 years old to adults. I know you had fun dancing when you were dancing, right?
Yeah, I thought it might be fun to make noise with your feet, so I joined tap dancing. And it is.
Yeah.
It literally is fun to make a lot of noise with your feet.
Yeah.
And I like music and keeping beat, so it fit for me for sure. And Mary Grace has done a number of years of that, and she'll be doing hip hop. She's also done musical theater. There's lots of choices, lyrical.
Yep. Acro, jazz, hip hop, tap, and more. So that'll be fun. So make sure that you register. If you haven't registered yet and your kids are interested, check it all out. Kelly is a great teacher and definitely an asset to our community. Even though she moved, she's still here, which is great.
She still comes back.
And one last thing, art-wise, Royd and Josephson's Get Physical art retrospective is still on at the Sidewalk Art Gallery until the end of the month. He's a wonderful artist, and he's got a huge 8x8 foot piece that he did, and I think that's part of the Sunflower Project, possibly. And he's finished it there, and it's humongous, and it's lovely.
Is that in addition to the ones that we've already previously videoed?
Yeah, it wasn't done when we did that video, so it's done now. Yeah, so there are paintings that you can see from the outside on the sidewalk, but then you actually can go inside as well. A lot of people didn't realize you could actually go into the gallery. He's usually there from about 11 to 4 daily, so you can pop in. He has a sign out that says artist is in or something. And he's donating half of the profits of any painting sold to the local food bank, which is kind of nice of him. And so yeah, there is one piece there that I am eyeing, but I have no place for it. And
we really have some wonderful artists in our town, and they're very community minded. And actually, Royden just recently donated a piece to the Ashcroft Hub. It's a beautiful piece located in our fitness studio of a ballerina. So if you haven't seen that one, come and check that out too. But we have a number of artists, and actually I've been noticing some artists I didn't know were out there as I see the pieces come in for the anonymous art show.
I was just gonna say, we've got
2 more came in today, and I was, what?
Yeah.
I didn't realiise. I can't give it away
Good.
who it was.
Yeah,
but
good. Yeah, so those are slowly starting to trickle in. I sent a reminder email yesterday to everybody that they've got a week left to bring their art in. So that will happen, available to the public. The 9th to 12th or so, we'll have them available that you can come and actually physically view them here at the hub, and then they'll all be available online. And it's all going to be done by silent auction, with half the proceeds going back to the artist and half staying at the hub as a fundraiser.
Yeah, this is going to be a fun
So,
event.
According to my calculations, we have 143 canvases that are out there.
Wow, so lots of choices. You
it's
guys
gonna be good.
can really deck
Yeah,
out your house with some
It's going
local
to be really
art.
good. Yeah, it's going to be fun.
Is that all we have?
That's
on-
all I've got that's going on. There is a concert at Unity on the 28th, I think, that still has some tickets left, so you can check that out and get your tickets there. But, yep.
We're hoping to have a special host or co-host on Friday, so make sure you tune in with us again at 3 o'clock on Friday, and have a wonderful day. Thanks for watching.